Hebrews chapter 10, I'm going to start at verse 19, point is verse 23, and it reads, subtitle, A New and Living Way. Having therefore, brethren, boldness to enter into the holiness by the blood of Yahushua. It says, by a new and living way which he has which he hath consecrated for us through the veil, that is to say, his flesh, and having a high priest over the house of the Most High, which is Yahushua Mashiach, who you people English call Jesus Christ, our big brother, our Lord and Savior. Let us draw near with a true heart and full assurance of faith, having our hearts sprinkled from an evil consciousness, meaning your mind, and our bodies washed with pure water. Let us hold fast the profession of our faith without wavering, for he is faithful that promised. I want to start off by giving all praise, all honor, all glory to Kol Haloyim, La Yahweh, Hashem Yahushai, Hashem Hakodash. Double honors to the elders and to the apostles, whom I learned this truth from. Peace and salutations to the Akim, across the four corners of the earth, pushing the truth with faith and with sincerity, as well as risking their lives and the freedom to do so, now more so than ever. Shalom to the Akim and Aquat that they're listening and learning, Lord willingly, this is edifying. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad in the land of other nations, appearing like the other nations, but whom subscribe to this truth. To you I say Shalom. So Brother Yahushua coming at you with another lesson through the Spirit and through the power of Yahweh, Shem Yahushua, Yahweh meaning he is, he exists, or he to be, by Shem, by in, How's the Shem his name, Yahushua meaning he saves, or he deliverer, two names of the Most High God and His Son, whose people ignorantly call God and Jesus Christ, whose true name in the Paleo Hebrew is Yahweh, Shem Yahushua. And this lesson is inspired. I supposed to do this lesson I think 3 days ago, something like that. I was sitting back observing something at my job. It hit me. And so many things happened so recently. The Lord, it's funny because I'm thinking about the statement that the one brother came out with, and brother's been pretty much doubling down on it. Brothers utilize it. It was a famous quote. I forgot the name of the individual that made it, but pretty much he said it'd be decades where nothing happened, and then it'd be weeks where decades happen. And we living in a time where weeks and decades is happening. It's funny. This Passover has been significant just for me because I had ended up getting a second shift job. I prefer second shift because I got children. I'm a single parent. I will say this: I don't think a woman is my equal or on my level, but I do respect real women. Just having to nurture and take care of children, because men's job ain't. That's what men are, less emotional. Men ain't supposed to be emotional. That's what the whole purpose of Spock of a Star Trek was. But Spock, if you didn't know, was emotional. His nation wasn't emotional, but he was, because he was like a mixed breed. He was human and Vulcan. So he was emotional. That's why he wouldn't get emotional until he got angry. If you ever go watch, which I liked the Star Trek to a degree. I hated it as a child. My brother loved that shit. When you go into it, the guy that created it was a Freemason, Gene Roddenberry. And that's when you look at the different nations of people on there, they all represent nations on the earth. Lord code. But anyhow, when Spock would get angry, and the scriptures talk about controlling your spirit. So it's deep. Anyway, Captain James T. Kirk, that nigga fucked everything. He was knocking everything down. Bitch could be purple. He popping her. That was always funny to me. But the movie, when they remade it, the movie was good. With the one guy, I can't think of his name. He played in Smoking Aces, though. He a decent actor. I think he played in a movie with your boy Denzel. Weirdo. But it's spiritual because I'm talking about professions. I lost my job on the eve of the Passover. I didn't really see it coming, but I saw it coming, and I moved, and I'm angry not at the fact that I lost a job. Can't be angry at the Lord. The Lord don't care. Lord, fuck you up, right? I'm trying to look at it a different way. Usually, normally I'll be no, but I'm looking at. I'm only angry because the white boy. That's how I know he's an Edomite. He was lying to me the whole time. Like, I'm mad at that. I'm not mad at losing the job because I'm not in a really like fucked up situation or nothing like that. Like, well, you got to look at the cup as being more full than empty. So, I'm looking at it like right now, don't nobody want to be without the job, but it's funny because again, I ain't no complete dummy. I ain't the smartest guy, but I ain't the dumbest one either. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a balance of that shit too. But I'm gonna say this much. I was observing at my job, the owner that pretty much brought me in, it's a small company and they had a niche business. So they had a particular type of business and they was making money. But it was a weird job because it's like a bunch of niggas. They all look like they crackheads or some shit like that. I probably look like a crackhead to them, although I wasn't. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not. You know what I'm saying? Anyhow, there was just some weird dudes. It was like a favoritism type of situation, which, I mean, I didn't fuck with them. They didn't fuck with me, but you could tell when the motherfucker talking shit don't like you just because. Like a girl. Only women do that type shit. That's a feminine spirit. When you see a motherfucker, you just mad, you don't like them, and you don't even know this person, you ain't spoke to him. It's a song with Lil Wayne and Big Sean. And that nigga said, Lil Wayne said, the niggas that hate me the most is just like me. And Big Sean said, the niggas that hate me the most is nothing like me. So they both had two different perspectives. Because, usually is a nigga that, it's like men have a competitive nature. You know what I'm saying? And then Big Sean said, well, shit, you ain't nothing like me because I wouldn't hate on you just for not knowing who you are. You had to know me to hate me. So, that sticks in my mind. But the point less of this, I was back observing this shop, they do a particular type of thing with metal. They like metal doesn't come shiny. They got to do a process to it to make that metallic look, put that coloring on it, It's called electroplate. And he knew everything about this business. Like, he could do everything to the machines. If the bitches broke, he could fix them, all that shit. So, that saying, a master, it's a saying, a jack of all trades, meaning you know a little bit about everything, but a master of none. Because in order to master something, you got to devote your whole time to it, You got to actually put your all in it. And it was spiritual because I was thinking about that and the times we're coming in and what the world going through. We know we at the end. And, the elders, you can say, literally have mastered and devoted their whole existence to the scriptures. I was just sitting back meditating on the fact I said, but damn, if it were to be an exodus, I could see the Lord preserving the elders and apostles to, be a part of that exodus. So however the Lord got them moving, the Lord got us all moving certain kind of ways. I know the Lord had me do this as far as walk away from the camp, because it wouldn't have been pretty or good, or it'd have been really evil to stay knowing that I feel some kind of way. And then you can't say nothing. So, like, again, I'd have probably sucker punched somebody or something like that. Like, the nigga would have took over. The demon would be like, nigga, transform. I'm making jokes out of it, but I'm being completely serious. You know what I'm saying? We deal with spirits. Do you understand what you are a part of for real? Do you understand that it's only by the grace of the Lord if you survive? Do you understand that there's men in here that's not right? And I'm not right, you know what I'm saying? But I ain't wrong either, you know what I mean? We all got our faults. That's why you're supposed to always, constantly, daily repent. We're in a sinful kingdom around sinful ass people. That's why the scriptures talk about he that departed from evil maketh himself a prey. So the word profession.
Strong's G 3671. Amalagia.
And it says profession, subjectively whom we profess to be ours. Profession, what one confesses. So, you got the word profession meaning your job, right? People that's when they say what you gonna be or what kind of job do you do. Being that you do that more than you do anything else, they say I'm this, I'm such and such. Well, our job is to profess or confess Yahweh Shai Mashiach. And like the elder said, if you not prophesying, you ain't a prophet. with all these things going on, it's no excuse not to have nothing to prophesy about. So therefore, hey, you know, what are you doing? You know what I mean? I don't have to explain anything to any fucking body, to the Lord, like a brother told me, right? But I choose to. And then half the time, Jake get that shit wrong. So don't judge me, man. If I'm telling you what the fuck it is and you still came with your own conclusion, that make you look stupid in a motherfucker for real. I'm telling you, what they say, telling on themselves. I'm telling you, you still came up with your own conclusion. Something fucking wrong with you. I worked at a job. This nigga was an addict. He in a sober house. The nigga was getting mad because the nigga said, they said, why don't you go do something for fun? He said, you could do anything but drink and smoke or whatever the fuck. He said, why don't you go shoot pool? He said, oh, every time I go shoot pool, I end up drinking. That's an I problem. Like something wrong with you, nigga. Motherfuckers is crazy for real. And you calling me crazy. Yeah. What the Joker say, nigga, I ain't crazy. I maybe me misunderstood, you know what I'm saying? But I ain't fucking crazy. Crazy people sit up there and do crazy ass shit. Wait till I do something crazy, then call me crazy. This Edomite crazy while y'all talking about this nigga ruled the world. This motherfucker sit up there, started a fight, and then said, come on, let's talk. That's crazy, ain't it? That's some funny ass shit. So our profession, our job is to profess Yahushua HaMashiach, to profess the end of the world, to profess this bitch is going down, which the world should be able to see. Well, most of the people can't see shit. You know, the Lord is always speaking if you listening. But I was thinking about that because I was like, damn, that's amazing. That dude know how to fix everything in here. He devoted that much time to it. But then I was looking at it and I was like, this nigga don't know shit about what's going on. Y'all talking about meteors, that could have been a bomb. We don't know what it was. Me, myself, personally, the shit that happened in Ohio, because I think it happened twice, matter of fact, I think it was like because of all that bombing, the world has tectonic plates, you know, and the ley lines and all that shit. You know, you got ley lines just like the body has chakras and shit. Well, the world got ley lines. So, you know, you literally got tectonic plates and like when they hit shit, that shit vibrates over here. Now, again, when I thought about it, there was like meteors and shit. I didn't think about it until after the fact. I was like, damn, everything like you got the one brother in the news here with that picture of the female walking and his bombs going off and meteors going. And I thought of that. I said, damn, everything they talking about, they seeing Bigfoot here, which they always, but that's an apparition. And I can't think of exactly where that is at in the Apocrypha, but I was going to do a lesson on it. Just so much shit going on. I'm like, I'm trying to do this. I'm trying to move. I'm trying to, and then I got to go do some shit because Esau, I caught a little charge on some bullshit for real. And like I said, the crazy part is I probably could have fought it, you know what I'm saying? Like, but I didn't fight it, you know, because I'm like, hey, you know, like what happens, you know, this man's system, you know, like I said, the will of the Lord is just his will. The Lord will put you in and give you into the hands of the devil like he did Yahushua. And he can deliver or he can lead you or it's his will. That's why the scriptures say, let his will be done. I just did a lesson about that today. Because again, if I was at work, I wouldn't have been able to partake in the Passover. I probably could have did it after the fact. I get off on enough time, it wouldn't have been the new day, you know, it wouldn't have been midnight. But, you know, the Lord had me lose my job today. Well, yesterday, on the eve of the Passover. And I felt it coming. And all because the dude that I was working with, he's smiling in my face, but ain't telling me I'm doing nothing wrong. And I was like, what? Now, I'm not really worried about the job because the thing is this, we didn't get breaks at my job. So by law, you're supposed to get a break. So let's figure out that shit, huh? How we gonna do that one? You goofy ass nigga. But anyhow, saying all that to say this, the Lord said my job was to do the will of him that sent me. And I'm not, you know, I'm quoting Yahushua because Yahushua said that's I'm be about my father's business. So that's the profession, what you're doing, you know, the work you're doing. What kind of work are you doing? What are you doing? Because we do shit every day, but what is your time being consistent of? What are you putting your most in? And it should be this work, especially now. The scriptures say, what's that? Amos chapter 3. Verse 7, and verse 7 it reads, Surely the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua, surely the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua power will do nothing, but he revealeth his secrets unto his servants the prophets. So the Lord is dealing with his prophets closely, very closely, more closely than other individuals on the planet. So they work for the Lord. So if you work for the Lord and that's your profession, not just confessing, your job, your existence is to actually do the will of the Lord. So, of course, when you get close to, like I'm watching at this job I just had, it was certain people he fuck with. Like I was a temp. And then I'm watching how they looking at the temps. These niggas sitting on the phone, but they said I'm on the phone too much. I say, huh? Everybody on the phone though. You know how retarded type of shit that is? How you gonna sit up? Because they have favoritism with the boss. So look at it. If we work for Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua and we close to him, we going to have favoritism with him. And that's what all I want. Like the elder brother said, he said, I don't need weeks worth of food or weaponry or none of that. He said, give me a clear and sound mind in the time of trouble. That's more priceless than a lot of stuff. And he's right. You know, when people, you ever seen that movie? What's that? With Chicken Little, and pretty much Chicken Little was telling everybody the sky falling, and I look at it two different ways. I never watched the movie. I might watch it with my children though, but that's an old tale, and it's told two different ways. When I first heard it, I came into the truth hearing it, and they was talking about like, Chicken Little represents or reminds you of a prophet, because we've been telling people about the end of the world since I came into the truth. So I could say that's years, almost probably like a decade. And he's like, the sky falling, nobody listening. But the way I ended up coming across some information, they said that originally it was the wolf that told Chicken Little the sky was falling. So Chicken Little went and gathered up everybody like, come on, the sky falling. So everybody followed Chicken Little, and he went into a cave. And in the cave, the wolf set him up, baited and trapped him. It was the wolf that put out the rumor about so point being is like, it was a quote somebody made about fear. They say, if you ever want to control somebody, make them afraid. And if you pay attention to what the devil doing, that's what he's doing now. He got this in their mind. These people really believe it. Oh, shit. It's a different strain of CV. Let's take another booster. You got perfectly healthy motherfuckers dropping dead because you had this foreign thing entered into your body. So at the end of the day, the Lord is going to preserve and protect those that he already knew, his prophets, his servants, the believers, because all of us literally was predestined and pretty much preserved from the foundation of the earth. I think that's in like Ephesians. This is the book of Romans chapter 8 and verse 29. For whom he did foreknow, he also did predestinate to be conformed to the image of his son, that he might be the firstborn amongst many brethren. Moreover, whom he did predestinate, them he also called, and whom he called, them he also justified, and whom he justified, them he also glorified. Because at the end of the day, only the elect, which were predestined, pre-called. That's why when people, like I used to tell people about the truth, and they, I don't believe in God. And I'd be like, you think that's supposed to make me mad or whatnot? Like, the Bible predestinated you to be a non-believer. That's what, like, when you know how to wield the scriptures, you could make a motherfucker look stupid. Like, you thinking that hurt me. Like, you think I'm a Jehovah's Witness or something, nigga? I'm not knocking on you. Nigga, I tell you if the Lord tell me to do. I don't tell everybody about the truth. We've been past that stage. You think I'm going to tell a nigga bitch that's sitting up here talking about whatever nigga shit she talking about? I will just, oh, baby, you got to learn it so you can be a concubine. No, bitch, burn. Fuck. Yeah, I don't give a fuck about you, bitch. Because I know, like Mike Tyson said, nigga, because I know you don't give a fuck about me. He said, nigga, I want to see you burn, nigga. He said, nigga, I want you to say, oh, your children say, oh, daddy, oh, you okay? He said, I'm a dysfunctional motherfucker. I could relate to Mike Tyson, you know what I'm saying? Because he's in a lot of pain. And like the brother just said, we relishing and we embracing the fact that this bitch ended. We want it to end. And if you ain't in that mindset, you ain't fucking right. I said it. I hate when this phone do this shit. I was gonna buy me another fucking phone. The Lord's like, nope. I probably can still buy the phone. So the Lord put certain men in positions. You get what I'm saying? Because if you work for the Lord, that's why you got different titles for different duties. And like the elder said, the ultimate man is the prophet. Because he's not answering the kings, queens, leaders, none of that. He's answering to the Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. That's the truly the prophet, only person he really has is Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. Look at Samuel. Samuel didn't even stay around the people. He stayed by himself like Yoda in the motherfucking Star Wars. And then he would come to town when he was told to by the Lord. Ephesians chapter 4 and verse 11. And he gave some apostles and some prophets and some evangelists and some pastors and teachers for the perfecting of the saints, for the work of the ministry, for the edifying of the body of Mashiach. So we all set up to do a job on the right-hand side and the left. I'm not even mad at dude. Want to know why? Because he just played his position. Like I said again, how you gonna know you doing something wrong unless you be told, right? The nigga wasn't telling me shit. The only reason why I'm mad because I was dropping that bitch ass nigga off and everything. Yeah, he was paying me, but I'm the type I wouldn't even have charged him. He wanted to give me the money. I'm like, but I should have made the bitch walk. You know what I'm saying? Catch the bus, bitch. You know what I'm saying? Oh man, you just don't know. I play cutthroat. That's better. I think cutthroat is better than fucking regular spades. You know what I'm saying? Half the time motherfuckers can't play spades and shit. No, I was locked up a lot, so we could play. Over here, we could play. The fuck? Make a nigga look stupid. Oh yeah, I know, and I suppose Ben got that Jeremiah verse 1 and verse 5. So if you was of the Lord created everybody the way He wanted them to do what He wanted them to do. This is Jeremiah 1 and verse 5, and it reads, "Before I formed thee," I'm gonna start at verse 4, and it says, "Then the word of the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushua came unto me, saying, Before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee, and before thou camest forth out of the womb, I sanctified thee." So you go into that word sanctify. And ordained thee a prophet unto the nations. Let's go into that word sanctify. Quadash.
Strong's H 6942. Kadash.
Quadash.
Kadash. Second entry. Kadesh. Kadesh.
Says to consecrate, sanctify, prepare, dedicate, be hallowed, be holy, be sanctified, be separate. Quadash. So the nation of Israel, that's why, again, the scriptures talk about he that departed from evil making himself a prey, because he was separated. He is sanctified. You know, and this world is a wicked ass place. And you go into the word holy is supposed to be, you know, unequally yoked. You're not yoked on two, you separated from. To be unholy is to be joined on to. That played in Bane, we played in Batman. He played Venom. He a decent actor though. He played in a movie called Legend, I think. I never watched it, but I've seen commercials of it. And he do the same thing like Michael B. Jordan. He played two parts. The Crays. That's based on a true story. You had two twin brothers from England that was mobsters. And one was psychotic. And one was, they both was wild, but you had one that was really like a psychotic serial killer type of motherfucker. They call the Craze, and go watch the movie. But he played the shit out of that role. Because when you see like what's that word? Like little trailers of it, you can see it. Like it's a lot of great actors. Like the dude that played Charles Xavier on X-Men, James Avery, the one that played I think he played in Wanted. That's a comic book. But point being, that he played in Split. He played in the movie with Bruce Willis, Unbreakable. It started with Unbreakable when Samuel L. Jackson pretty much caused a train accident, and the only person survived was Bruce Willis. Then he was telling Bruce Willis he had he was like a superhero. And when Bruce Willis started to believe it, that's when he actually became a superhero. Now the cold part is, once you believe you're an Israelite, you get what I'm saying? It takes that first step, or you think a man that don't truly believe in this is going to actually be able to possess spiritual power? It says to be set apart, be consecrated, to be hallowed, to show honored to be separated from something. You know what I'm saying? I'm honored that I got separated from that job. And I literally never feel like this. But I was like, damn, I sat back and thought about it. At first I was mad, but I was only mad at the white boy. I was going to do some dumb shit. That was the first thing popped in my mind. And then I rolled around, I went and did some shit. And the Lord was like, you know, he calmed my spirit. And he was like, you know, I'm looking at what type of, and them, listen, when they heard about that war, you could tell they was nervous. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're not nervous. We want this shit to happen. That's how you know you separated from the earth. These people on the earth, they want shit to go back to regular. It's not going back to regular. That dude, Pete Hegseth, which I'm going to do that lesson now since I got a little free time. That nigga got tattoos of the Knights Templar on him. The Knights Templar was like the first original Illuminati. It ain't that why you think Albert Pike and Mussolini was up there. They both was Freemasons. This shit ain't stopping. And I asked the Lord, call to intensify it. To set apart as sacred, consecrate, dedicate, to observe as holy, keep sacred. As sacred, hallowed, to consecrate, to be consecrated, to set apart, devote. We're devoted to Yahweh Shem Yahushua. So your job is to consist of everything. I ain't saying that you're supposed to do it all day. You know, you got the scriptures like you had the one priest. Like when you go in the book of Judges and pretty much the Benjamites raped her and there was a war with the other tribes in Benjamin. Now I show you how gangster Benjamin is, because Benjamin was fighting all the tribes. Wild boy, you know what I'm talking about? So keep oneself apart or separate to call, and then pretty much they killed so many of the men, and I think they killed like a lot of like Benjamites to the point they had to allow them to marry on to like other women of the other tribes or something like that. I ain't read it in a long time, but the point being, but Benjamin was fighting all the tribes because the priest, he had a woman and pretty much they ended up raping her and killing her. He went and chopped her body up and sent parts to all the tribes. And then they all came together and fought against Benjamin. That's when you go into the sons of Belial and all that. Which, the funniest part, I don't know how many times I said this, but I think I at least said it once. Where I grew up at, we knew a family, they was called the Belials. Can't make the shit up. I knew you before I formed you in your mother's womb. Before you were born, I set you apart and appointed you as my prophet to the nations. So, again, like I said, I was sitting back thinking about it. I lost a job and all that, but I was thinking, this nigga might know how to do all that as far as keeping that job going. But what happens when you don't know how to do what you got to do to keep from literally, and they deal in the industry. If you fuck up something, like, because of what they dealing with, and they dealing with all these chemicals. I mean, you got to see that they stupid. Like, I can get them in trouble if I wanted to. Like, these motherfuckers smoking around chemicals. You know what I mean? They ain't smoking. You're not even supposed to smoke in buildings. You know what I'm saying? But you smoking around chemicals that could blow this bitch up. But my style ain't to be from the background snitching or no shit like that. Like, I don't even fuck with that type. I say again, I'm gonna tell you in your face, like the bitch ass white boy couldn't. You know what I'm saying? He's definitely ain't no Alexander the Great. Alexander the Great, again, was a warrior. He might have been a homosexual faggot, but I'm gonna say it just like that. But he was a warrior. You know what I'm saying? You might fuck with that nigga and he bend you over. Imagine that shit. You might as well kill me, nigga. You might as well kill me. Right. Like in Hammer of the Gods. Hammer of the Gods, a dude had a boy and a girl. Them was his slaves. He had a boy and a girl. If I'm not mistaken, so just imagine that nigga let him take, well, he ain't let him, he couldn't do nothing about it. Dude overpowered him. Because in that movie, that's a good ass movie. It wasn't like the best visual movie. It's like a B movie. But when you watch the movie and understand it, like with that new Game of Thrones series, The House of Dragons, if you understand it and your mind is actually able to accept and deal with certain shit, it's like chess. They was all plotting for the throne because, which much power is much, what they say, power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely. Babylon the Great is a corrupt ass place because of look at the power it has. But it also, that's how you know we at the end, because the whole world see this bitch ain't that bad bitch like she think. That bitch can be touched. And Iran is showing you that. And they don't expect Iran to beat America. No, what Iran's job is to be those, like how Gad used to fight. You know, how like Israel used to fight. When you watch that movie, The Patriot with Mel Gibson, which was a good movie, he fought like Gad. So they was coming in, attacking, and then disappearing. That's what Iran's job is to do. Weaken this bitch, and it's doing that. And then you got the big bullies on the block, ready. Russia and China. Like they letting you know, nigga, we fuck with them. They waiting for Babylon the Great to overstep his boundaries once, and they gonna show you, nigga, that's why they said Russia just literally made a statement. Babylon the Great been bombing their nuclear facilities and bombing shit that, in war, they set up certain treaties and certain things. We can't do this. Like back in the day, when two men had a dispute, they might have a duel, or they might come with pistols or swords or whatnot, and it was rules to the shit. So it's still supposed to be rules to the day. But only Babylon the Great to say, well, we're going to abide by these rules, and then turn around and say, fuck them rules. Again, you got to see how much of a coward this motherfucker is. This motherfucker start a fight and then say, oh shit, slow down, stop, please. I mean, I've been laughing at that shit since it happened. Like, this shit, that's a movie type. Hold on. When they first did, I said, huh? What they say? How you gonna start some shit? You took the time to go over to this nigga. That's like you go over to, I think Kevin Hart said some shit like that. He said his father went to fuck with somebody, and the person fucked him up, beat him up, and he was like, he couldn't respect his daddy after that no more. Which is the truth though. Like Like a nigga yelling at his woman and then he get his ass whooped in front of his woman. You know what I mean? I don't give a fuck if she never say that. She never gonna respect you. You know what I'm saying? There's certain times when you gotta win that fight. You know what I mean? Over my children, we ain't fight. I probably try to kill your dumb ass. Like you up here thinking that we gonna fight. I'm about to probably try to kill you. Like, fuck a fight. Nigga, you done touched what's precious to me. Nah, I ain't completely stupid, but like if it came down to it, nigga, we ain't nobody going home, nigga. Somebody ain't going to jail or we both dying. That's how I'm looking at it. You ain't come thinking like that. No, that's why that happened to you. The fuck? Certain shit you just don't play with. You know? What the nigga say, nigga, be quiet while adults are talking. You know what I'm saying? Like the fuck? Nigga, you a child if you ain't thinking correctly. Well, I don't want to be around a nigga that's taking this shit I ain't saying you can't laugh or nothing like that. I'm silly. You know, that keep me from crying. You know, laugh now, cry later, huh? Cry now and laugh later. I done flipped the shit on his head. Cause I did a lot of crying and we ain't crying no more. Yeah, I might rant, you know what I'm saying? But fuck all that, nigga. Because again, like Mike Tyson said, he said, shit, I want to see him in pain, his family crying. Yeah. Before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee, and before thou camest forth out of the womb, I sanctified thee, and I ordained thee a prophet unto the nations. So, you know, like how, what was her name? Samuel's mother, though. I think her name was Hannah. But pretty much she couldn't have a child, but then she would always pray. She truly believed, and the Lord gave her a child. And the first thing she did was dedicate that child to the Lord. Deep, huh? She wanted a child, couldn't have a child. The Lord blessed her with a child. You know, back in the day, people knew a child was a blessing. My demon don't even recognize it. She done had 5, 6 fucking children. You know, as women that can't have children or didn't have children that wish they had children. You know, that's cold. You know, and then we live in a society where these stupid ass people tell these women that they equal to me. But how? You can't have babies all the way up until your old age. I could be old and still bust a nut and get somebody pregnant. That's the whole point of King David with that little young virgin. When they tried to kid him to see if he could catch or get heat. That heat was in his loins. See if he could pop her. Because they wanted to keep that bloodline going. Because that's how powerful King David was. And that's the line that our big brother, our Lord and Savior, come from. So yeah, of course I believe it's bloodlines that go back. Like the elder was going into. That might not always been called Israel, but it's a specific bloodline that the Lord has been dealing with since the beginning. And that's how you know the Lord ordains, sanctifies. So again, my profession, because I lost my job on the eve of it. I ain't even mad at the man. Listen, I know the Lord don't give a fuck if you, you know what I mean? You know how like with my kids mad and shit pouting because they got to do, you think I give a fuck? You know, they're like, right, like, yeah, fuck it. Yeah, as much as I do around this bitch, is you serious? I just moved the whole fucking apartment by myself. I mean, helped a little with shit. You know, they didn't even want to pack their shit up. So I think I'm going to leave the lesson there. At the end of the day, you know, let these people have what they want. You know what I mean? Give them the last hoorah. You know what I mean? But the hoorah is like, for real, like, no, this is going to be ugly and brutal and violent and bloody and graphic. And I like graphics. I got a hell of an imagination, but at the same time, no. No. The Bible ain't a fairy tale book. That's why it's so relevant today. I'm talking about these motherfuckers. Look, these niggas catching the bus to work type shit. That's how dedicated they shit. I said, damn, you a grown ass man, you ain't got nothing. What do you do? One nigga eating like it looked like Meals on Wheels food.
You a crackhead, nigga. All your money going to get the high. You ain't gonna buy you some McDonald's once. Treat yourself. Goofy ass nigga. But you got something to say about me. Nigga ain't even spell, hello, my name is such and such. That's an effeminate ass spirit. Women is the only one. I mean, niggas do it a lot. Them some weird ass, like you say, you got niggas that don't know how to do shit. You waiting on a bitch to do everything. So if the bitch leave you, you gonna go. One of the first things my father taught me, that's why I didn't go crazy when the bitch left. One of the first things my father taught me, I know how to wash a dish. I know how to wash some pans. You know what I'm saying? Fuck you waiting on you. So you weaker than this bitch. I'm going somewhere else with this. So Salaki, at the end of the day, your profession is to profess Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, especially now. And if not, you don't really believe. That's my words. This nigga, how you gonna say you believe, but you ain't professing it? The world say that you gonna show your faith. He say, damn it, I'm gonna butcher it too, but basically he said, I'm gonna show you my faith. He said, it basically go down, he said, I'm gonna show you my faith by my works. So I'm going to show you I believe by doing this. And that's the sign of a true believer, not a hypocrite. So I'm going to end the lesson there. Our profession, that's probably what I'm going to title it. So with that, if you're so-called Black, Hispanic, Native American, Seminole Indian, West Indian, or Haitian, I implore you to come back to the laws, statutes, commandments of your power, whose true name in the Paleo Hebrew is Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, or you will be destroyed. And with that, I want to give all praise, all honor, all glory to, call Loyim La Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem HaKodash, double honors to the elders and to the apostles I learned this truth from. Peace and salutations to the Akim across the four corners of the earth, pushing this truth with faith and with sincerity, as well as risking their lives and their freedom to do so. Now more so than ever. Shalom to the Akim and Aquat that they're listening and learning. Lord, willingly, this is edifying. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad in the land of other nations, appearing like the other nations, but subscribing to this truth. To you, I say shalom. Till next time, Lord, willingly, shalom, shalom. Kwame Yasharallah and Mawatla Babal.